Oh boy, let's do Jingle Jangle, a Christmas Journey movie from 2020. And yeah, it's not a good movie. Actually, it's really really bad. Um, and I have to say this up front, I didn't finish the movie. I think I quit somewhere around the 90-minute mark, or even 80 minutes in, something like that. I mean, it's a 2 hour long movie, and it was that atrocious that I could not finish it. It was bad. It was really bad. I mean, I tried. I think I kind of wanted to give an honest review, but yeah, no, I was hoping that it would be a little bit better or that it would get better, but it just didn't. It was bad. So, I had to turn it off and go do something else because I was getting pissed off watching this movie. And normally with most movies and definitely Christmas movies, even if they're bad, there's always something you can enjoy about the movie. But this movie just does not have anything going for it, in my opinion, of course. And honestly, it's really frustrating because the trailer of this movie, it had me hyped, just like the Polar Express. I'm watching this trailer. I rewatched it today, and I was like, yeah, that looks solid. That looks amazing. And yeah, the movie does not reflect that at all. So I don't know. I feel cheated. So whoever did this trailer, man, they should get an award for sure. I mean, it looks magical, emotional, and energetic, and all that stuff. But what you get is something truly special, and in a bad way. I mean, visually, the style of this movie is really unique, and the cast looked somewhat strong, and the music seemed to be you know, going to be epic, but yeah, it wasn't any of that. And I was hoping for a new holiday classic because based on the trailer, I thought, well, this might be the one. But what you get is basically a chaotic mess that just didn't know what it wanted to be, or what it was trying to say, and to who it is supposed to appeal. I mean, definitely not to me. So yeah, that's the short run of the movie. So what is it really about? Well, the story is centered about no, not about around Jeronicus Jangle, who used to be this legendary, brilliant inventor of magical toys. And then one of his inventions gets stolen by his apprentice, and his life just spirals downhill. And years later, he's basically a depressed shell of himself. And then his granddaughter shows up and tries to help him rediscover joy and hope and creativity. And Forrest Whitaker, man, he wasn't just playing a character being depressed, but he felt depressing as hell. Oh man, that was just the first 30 minutes of the movie. Oof, it's rough. So, as a concept, the story is kind of solid. I mean, you can do something with it. I mean, it sounds emotional. You can do something very Christmassy with it, and it has the potential to do something uplifting, with a good story and some heartfelt stuff. But this movie is everything in between. It's none of those things. This movie just falls apart really, really, really fast. First of all, the tone, it's all over the place, and just instead of focusing on the emotional story of a grandfather reconnected with joy and with his granddaughter, what this movie is really focusing on is, I don't really know, but a lot of stuff. So we have family drama, we have a redemption story going on, we have a musical going on, we have a believe in yourself inspirational tale going on. Then there's a quirky kids' adventure, weaved in between. We have a financial crisis going on. It's fantasy going on. We even get a robot sidekick. I mean, what the fuck are they doing? I mean, for real. What is this? Man, I'm getting pissed off just talking about it. This movie, it's so bad. I mean, just pick something and stick with it. Focus, do something well. Instead, they're focusing on nothing and they do everything. It's bad. I mean, these ideas they just crash into each other like a train wreck, and yeah, that's not a good thing, no. And then there's the musical chaos. I mean, let's be real here. Musical numbers can be exhausting if they're not done right, and this movie has a lot of exhausting numbers. And yeah, they're not terrible, but they're not good either. I think they just feel exhausting and overdone. They're loud and they're too long. I think that's the problem. It's obnoxious. They're too long and too loud, really, and they don't move the story forward. I mean, I enjoy a good musical. I think one of my favorite movies is Grease. So and there we have numbers that all work very well, and they push the story forward. They tell something. This movie does not do any of those things. And this is the worst part. Every time you're trying to get emotionally invested in what is going on, then they put in this big musical number which interrupts everything. Like, yeah, okay, uh, sit down, relax, and we're gonna do this big number, so you get interrupted from the movie, really. And you get just pulled out of the rhythm, out of the momentum that the movie, I guess, is kind of trying to build. So, the musical numbers, they kind of work ish somewhat, maybe, but they're not meaningful in any way. And for me, it feels just way too distracting. They should have just gone with a normal movie, not a musical. Then we have, characters' performances. Forrest Whitaker, he's doing his best, but he just feels bored and annoyed, really. I think he's trying to give some weight to the character, but it just feels really hollow. And then we have these kids actors. Yeah, no, no. They're annoying. Like, they're not charming or endearing. They're not sweet. They are just straight up annoying. They are just written like, the stock quirky kids, characters from a TV show, not like actual people. And and you're supposed to follow these kids for 2 hours long. I mean, yeah, no, I'm not doing that. I'm not investing my time in that. And like I said, we even get a robot sidekick. Like, what the hell is that? It doesn't have any personality, no payoff, no nothing really. It's like, just here's another storyline we throw in. I don't know what they were doing. And I don't want to overstate this, but sitting through this movie was a chore. And a chore that I didn't finish, of course. There's no flow, no rhythm, no consistency. I mean, it's slow in the parts that should be emotional, and it's loud in the parts that should be, kind of quiet and chaotic, where it should be more magical. It doesn't seem to find the right tone. It doesn't seem to be able to connect the dots. And yeah, at a certain point, you just realize that, you're not enjoying this movie. You're not enjoying anything you're seeing on screen. And yeah, that's when I had to pull out. I'm like, yeah, I'm done with this movie. So the message, I think there's somewhat of a message, and representation. I think, yeah, it's okay, I guess. I support representation, um, but representation alone doesn't make a great movie. You know, um, a good movie makes itself good. And when I say representation, this movie, it feels like don't get me wrong, like a black Christmas movie. The characters, all black actors, I think a few white actors. Now, I don't have a problem with that whatsoever. If that's what the movie needs, then I'm perfectly fine with that. You want to do a lot of diversity, great. You want to do a movie with all white people, whatever, whatever floats your boat. I don't have a problem with that. But I mean, that message or that push, it feels too on the nose. It's not something that I like. I mean, representation, fine, if you want to do something, like that, that's great. But don't do it like this. It feels, it loses its meaning, I think. And I think the film feels like it wants applause more than it wants to really tell a compelling story. you know I mean, it feels like it's forcing equality And equality isn't forcing a message. Write a great story, make an awesome movie that stands on its own, regardless of, the representation and whatever. This film doesn't do that. So that it's too on the nose. It feels like it's more doing, it's more focusing on that part than it's focusing on doing a good story. So yeah, I just want to say that, I don't have a problem with that, but if you do it in a good way then, do it and make a great movie as well. And yeah, they failed at that very hard, I think. So yeah, there is one thing I do have to say about this movie that I really did like, and that is that this movie looks gorgeous. Visually, it's stunning. I mean, the sets are beautiful, the costumes are amazing. We have this steampunk look to it, aesthetically very pleasing, unique and cool. So, if the quality of the story matched the visuals, we would probably be talking about a very good Christmas movie. But the visuals alone do not make a great movie. I need more than just great visuals. I need a good story as well. So, yeah, we get beautiful wrapping paper, but we get a disappointing gift inside, and wrapping paper cannot fix that. It can only do so much. So yeah, I didn't enjoy this movie at all. I kind of wanted to, just based on the trailer. I kind of tried to, but the pacing, the inconsistency, the musical interruptions, the annoying characters, the overall message it's trying to push, and yeah, it's just really exhausting more than it is magical. And it's one of those movies, rare movies, that I just couldn't finish. And yeah, I don't regret not watching or not finishing this movie. So for me, yeah, final verdict, a 1 out of 10. I mean, if I can't finish the movie, then it's basically a one. Looks fantastic, but everything that actually matters just falls apart. So yeah, that's that. That's just my take on the movie. Hope you enjoyed this review, and hope it's useful. Let me know what you think, and I'll talk to you next time. Bye bye.